Well, good morning. How is everybody doing this morning? The folks that are out there. It is another day, one more day on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of us. So I think that's a lot to be appreciative for. A little chilly outside this morning, but other than that, it is a fantastic day to be alive. My worst day is even a good day to be alive. So, anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions. Why do we call it that? Well, because everything we do in our lives requires us to make one. And even when you don't make the decision, well, you just made one. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine.
We change the world in history right here where we're from. It's new beginning to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
Time to rise and shine. Well, it's time to rise and shine once again. Got just one more day on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of us. It is a great day, a fantastic day to be alive. A little chilly outside, but that's okay. We can live with a little chilliness, okay? The worst thing it could be is that we couldn't tell if it was chilly or not. So I'm thinking that's a pretty good thing to be. Boy, I'll tell you what, I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I feel pretty good every morning, actually, until I don't. Then I'll let you know about that one, too. Now, you probably don't even want to hear about that. Anyway, good morning to you. You know what time it is? It is time for our daily bread. A word from on high, something that'll change your perspective or give you a new one. But whatever it does, it is good for the soul. So, our daily bread, a word to start the day, and then we'll get on to some interesting things, I hope. Some may not be that interesting, but I think that you like this in the mornings because it just gives us a different perspective on life. And remember this: no matter what you're going through, no matter what heartaches you're having, no matter what hard time, there is somebody, someplace that's having it worse than you. So be thankful for the small things in life, and then you can accept the big thing. Good morning to you. So we shall return uno momento. All right, so hang loose. We'll be back.
As you open your Bible, remember that God, the one who loves you the most, has a message for you. Our Daily Bread. Today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread Ministries comes from Po Fong Chia. Po Fong says that each morning when she reaches her office, she has one simple habit: checking her email. Now, most of the time, she'll skim through them quickly, but there are some emails that she's eager to open. You guessed it. Those emails are from loved ones. Someone once said that the Bible is God's love letter to us. But maybe on some days you just don't feel like opening it, and your heart doesn't resonate with the words of the psalmist in Psalm 119. Oh, how I love your law. Further on, it's called your commandments, your testimonies, your precepts, and your word. A question by Thomas Manton, once a lecturer at Westminster Abbey, still holds relevance for us today. He asked, "Who is the author of Scripture?" God. What is the end of Scripture? God. Why was the Scripture written? But that we might continually enjoy the blessed God. It's often said that the more you know some people, the less you admire them. But of course the reverse is true of God. Familiarity with the Word of God, or rather the God of the Word, increases affection, and affection seeks even greater familiarity. As you open your Bible, remember that God, the one who loves you the most, has a message for you. Share Our Daily Bread with your friends and family on Facebook and Twitter. You never know who needs a touch today. Today's encouragement was brought to you from Our Daily Bread Ministries.
All right, now. Yep, this is our Macmillan International Academy here in Montgomery. Yep. It's them, our kids and grandkids. Oh, yeah. Somebody had to be in the Navy. The United States Coast Guard. I don't know anything in the Coast Guard. But somebody must be in. They got a song. United States Marine Corps. Darkhead, affectionately, of course. Does anybody know why they call the Marines Darkhead? I'll tell you. righty then. All right, now that's Montgomery's own. Okay, that's not somebody that's far away. That is McMillan's International Academy right here in Montgomery, Alabama, who sings that every morning. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make stars out of one of these days. So we want to just let you know that we got talent right here in Montgomery, although we don't hear much about it often because we always hearing too much about the bad guys. But these kids are really in that tape. If you ever get the chance to go out to that school, I mean, it looks like no other school in Montgomery. I mean, I was impressed. Matter of fact, I thought it was a big corporation out there when I was riding down the street. 'Cause most of our schools in Montgomery look like jails, like Floyd or like let's say Floyd, Capitol Heights. You look kind of like a jail out there. No one they act like they're in prison. You got it. But the one in McMillan, it's warming, it's inviting, it's a nice school. I mean, it looks like a school should look like. I don't know why we can't get all our schools to look that way, but that's just that's not what's happening in Montgomery, I guess. But anyway, good morning to you. First of all, the lessons of life today: don't tell your problems to everyone. Why? Because 80% of them don't care about you, and the other 20% glad you got them. So remember that. And the word of the day is prudent. Prudent. Okay, now let me put this over there so y'all can get the meaning, because a lot of you folks are not very prudent at all. Okay, so here I'm going to put this on the screen so you guys can see what the word of the day is, so you can understand the meaning. So when I use these words at times, you won't think I'm trying to be a smart butt, okay? Because I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not. Now don't play that at all. Okay, but the word of the day is prudent, having or showing good judgment and restraint, especially in conduct or in speech. Okay, so that's what the word of the day is prudent. Okay, so be prudent in the things that you. Matter of fact, you use that word all the time. It would be George Bush the second, or whether George H. Bush, Judge W. Which I can't. All those names got there. I don't know. Anyway, the last Bush that was president would always use this word prudent. And so I had to just look it up and say, what the hell does that mean? And I did. So it means having or showing good judgment and restraint, especially in conduct or speech. Now, okay. Now, what did your mind just go to? Okay, what did your mind just go to when I said that conduct or speech? I know where it went to. It went to our current president, who doesn't seem to be very prudent. Okay, but I'm going to come to the defense of the president today. Not that I don't most of the time, but some things he does is just plain crazy. But I'm going to come to his defense on why he's so harsh with some people. When and then we're gonna get on other things, but this is just my own analysis of him from afar, because we haven't shook hands or anything like that. I had a conversation, but he's been known a long time, right? He's been known a long time, and he's known people. He's known people when they didn't have anything. Some people he knew when he's never been, down and out, as from what I can tell. But people, and in New York, I mean, it seemed like, as a matter of fact, when I was in New York for that one day, somebody told me that don't walk down the street like you care. I said, no. I said, walk down the street like you the baddest mofo that ever walked down the street. Don't be smiling. Don't be nothing. Because the minute you do that, they know that you're new. So the whole temperament in New York City is one that is, well, it's a tough place to live, okay? Especially if you're broke. It's a tough place to live. But let's get back to Trump. Trump has been called all kinds of things. Maybe some justified, maybe some not. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But I do know one thing. He knew a lot of these people before they were anybody. And they knew him. And they talked about the guy when he was president so bad. I mean, as if he was the stupidest guy in town. Well, listen, if my bank account was like his, I got golden toilets, Listen, evidently ain't that stupid. And even if his father gave him all the money, at least he had the good God sense to keep the money and not throw the money away. Okay, that shows some, because that's not like some of our that's not like some of um, our athletes who always end up rich, but then they broke. Okay, I don't know who that is trying to get into the studio, but evidently you got to turn on your whoever Showtime is. I don't know who that is, but anyway, so since he has undergone this onslaught in the last 8 years or so, just because he said, I think I want to be president of the United States. Now, again, he doesn't have the leadership skills and the leadership traits that we like to see in our people sometimes. But on the other hand, we've had a lot of people in there who been great, had leadership skills, had the vocabulary down right, had did everything all right, and so where do we end up then? Well, we ended up with a country that we don't know which way is up sometimes. We don't know what's right and wrong anymore. We economically we spending money like drunken sailors. We in debt. They keep telling me I'm in debt, but I'm not in debt. I didn't borrow any of that money. Some of them may be in debt. They borrowed. I didn't borrow. They keep telling me that we as each citizen in the United States owes what they say owes about $2,500. Okay, that's the babies that are born too. They don't even know what a job is yet. They owe money. They born owing money. Okay, because our good credit and good name is based on the citizens of the United States of America who had nothing to do with spending the money except the idiots that we put in the White House. Now, I'm still trying to figure out. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, but I can't. Nobody gets that way by accident. That man has been physically, I mean, mentally, verbally abused, called all kind of things. I don't agree with the language the guy uses. But who was worried about him when people were out here using that same kind of language against him? I mean, who was worried about Trump? I mean, all the guy did was run for president. He thought he had a better way. Okay, we'll see it we'll see at the end if his way was better. I don't I don't know yet. Time will tell if its way is better. I do know that America is in a better ways in some places, and in some places, I think personal relationships between each other, he's a divisive kind of guy, but I still like him. Okay, I don't like all the things he does, but I still like him. And it seemed like to me, I've never heard any of you guys talking about other people when they talked about him so bad. I mean, this was, let me put it to you this way. I have never seen the disrespect paid to anybody in the White House in my life, my time in life, than this man had to put up with because he had an idea. He said, "I'll run for president," and since he did do exactly what he said, then everybody's. I mean, I've never seen the disrespect. That's from Congress, the Senate, the House of Representatives. I've never seen the things these people would say about a president of the United States. Never. And so now everybody's all up in arms because he don't get on all fours and pay homage to people who talked about him like a dog. Okay, so listen. I mean, the bigger guy. Somebody said, "Well, he ought to be the big guy because he's the president." Well, maybe so. But what about everybody else? Shouldn't they be big enough to say, "Hey, the guy won fair and square," and now had y'all let him win his race the first time, we'd have been done with him already. But the second time, then we would be having these conversations. But there's none of us who don't have feelings. Just because you're president of the United States doesn't mean that people have a right to disregard you and call you all kind of names. So listen, I'm not okay. I'm kind of like Trump. Okay, I really, really, really am. I didn't care much about tack and all that stuff. I just pretty much said what's on my mind, and sometimes it got me in trouble. Matter of fact, I spent a lot of time I spent a couple of times, especially once I made E5 in the Army, I spent a lot of time on extra duty. you know, CQ, CQ for 14 days straight. so, I'm kind of like him. I'm not covering salt with sugar and think I change what it tastes like. Okay, salt is salt and sugar is sugar, and they both have, okay, and they both have different tastes. Just because they got the same color, don't mean they got the same taste. Okay, so that's the way I am. I just call a frog a frog. I mean, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, smells like a duck, it's in the water like a duck, then it must be a duck. Okay, so I'm not mad. Again, he does a lot of things, but again, how many times I got to tell you, Trump has never been a leader. He's always been a boss. Okay, and in New York, bosses run everything. Okay, they run everything. So he's never had to kowtow to anybody because most of the time they wanted something from him. And let's take the black supercharged Negroes up there in New York, the Al Sharptons and the people like that. They would call that man all. They would go to that man, kiss his butt. He could bend over twice, and they kiss it twice on both sides because they wanted money. They didn't care about his attitude. They didn't care much about his temperament. All they wanted was a check stroked to them, and that's old Al. And it even got so bad that Jesse and them made him Man of the Year. Did y'all know that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and NAACP made him Man of the Year? Because it showed the character of them. Because all it took to get Man of the Year, okay, all it took to be Man of the Year was all you got to do is write that check, right? And Trump wrote him all kind of checks. Okay, help him with this, help him with that. And then all of a sudden, though, he makes it to the presidency of the United States of America, and he didn't run as a Democrat. So, well, he must not be any good now. He must be a rotten guy now. Okay. And again, listen. I said that he doesn't do everything right, but I don't either. You don't either. Anybody on this stream, none of us have always done it the right way. And let me tell you the one thing we've never been. We've never been president of the United States, putting up with a mix of people who are from all over the place. Yeah, I saw that Don, that child murdered from Alabama. That kind of broke my heart a little bit. So we worry about the wrong thing. It is these people that we should figure out. And I think the guy who did it, I believe, was a foreigner. Because we want to open up the doors and let everybody in. Yeah, but she's at Brown, and it says she's a sweet woman. Murdered Alabama, murdered at Brown, two Iowa guardsmen murdered in Syria, dozens plus murdered in Australia. That's true, but I knew what the Reverend Willie Dunn would want to talk about. But again, it's a shame. Australia wants to, this whole thing about guns. I'm really in turmoil about guns. If you take all the guns away, the only people that are going to have guns are the crooks. I got that part. I understand that. I mean, you pretty much leave yourself helpless. So I've come up with what I think is a happy medium. I think we need to bring back licensing of guns. You don't need to walk around this city or any city in America without somebody knowing that you own a gun. That's the problem I have, and those are handguns. As far as rifles are concerned, oh yeah, have one in your house. You don't need a license for that. But I do think we need to get back to licensing handguns. Yes, that won't stop some people. Some people will do what they are going to do no matter what the law says. But I also don't want to leave people who are trying to do the right thing. I don't want them to be, I don't want them to be victims of other people because they were unarmed at the time. So again, if you want to carry a gun, I think that you ought to get a license. Yeah, I think you ought to get a license, and that's a license. But to have one in your home, oh no. I don't think you need a license for that. That's your God given right to protect your house, protect your family, protect everybody. And I think you ought to have a right to have a gun without going through that whole life. But if you want to carry it around with you in the state of Alabama, unless you are law enforcement, and even law enforcement have to be they got to be of a certain ilk in order to be able to carry it around. Okay, and listen, maybe Camilla, maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe we shouldn't put that responsibility on him or any American president. Only thing he represents is us. Okay, he represents the whole wide world. Ah, good morning, sir.
Sergeant Elkins,
Yes, sir.
who brought this subject or this topic up
When? I did.
this morning? What you're talking about?
I did.
So when Don says he know what someone would want to talk about, I didn't introduce this topic.
No,
You did, right?
I did. Hmm.
So I didn't introduce the topic, but what's amazing is that the commander in chief has the prerogative to do whatever he chooses to do on his personal social site.
Right.
If he wants to tweet that, that's his prerogative. Is that correct?
That's true.
But when the White House retweets on its official site, that's coming from us. Wouldn't you agree? The White House retweeted that garbage on its official site. Now that means that somebody in the government had to approve
Hmm.
for that to go out. That doesn't trouble you?
Yeah, to be fair, no. We live in a country where people can say whatever they want to.
People can. This is the government, Kevin. It's coming from the White House now, not Trump.
Well, it's a kind of is it the same situation with the auto pen? Is somebody else writing and he don't know it? I mean, I don't know. You know,
See, and again, somebody had to approve that from the White House.
well, you would think
So-
they would. You would, but I don't know if they do it.
Okay.
I mean,
See, and that becomes the challenge, Kevin. We now what he said is that he could shoot someone in broad daylight in New York and get away with it. Kevin, whatever he does,
Mhm.
we justify it. Now you said that, all of his enemies said these vile things about him, and
Yeah,
it
they
gives
did.
him a right. But now, was Rubio an enemy when he was running against him and said all those things? Was J.D. Vance an enemy?
Well,
Go back and pull the things they said.
right. But they were combatants in a way for political.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but they weren't his enemy. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
You said that his political enemies said he was Russia. You said the political enemies. That's all I'm saying. It just wasn't the opposition saying this on the Democratic side.
Mhm.
Cruz said some things about him. If you go back and Pete Hextman, J.D. Vance, Rubio, you can go back and see all. Now, until he got
was a political
elected,
game, right? It was a political game, and they was trying to one.
but it wasn't just the opposition. Is my point, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, you said that he said all this stuff because now when he went there on John McCain that says, I don't like my heroes to be captured. I like my, we thought that was a line too far, right?
Again, I don't know I just don't know the relationship between him and McCain. I think listen, just because you made an officer in the military and you did your job doesn't give you any more privilege to intervene or
Man,
talk
it's amazing. It's amazing how we say we support the troops and we love the troops, and this guy can denigrate a war hero. And you begin to say, I don't know the relationship. I don't know the response.
Hey,
you don't have to know it, sir. This guy served 5 years in Hanoi Hilton.
Okay.
He was given the option to get out because his dad was an admiral. He said, I'm staying. You begin to justify anything this guy does, and it's amazing.
Wait a minute. You're doing your job. That's your job.
It's your job to be captured and be tortured.
And your job is trying not to be captured. But that goes with the territory.
Sir, have you no decency? You remember that guy said that. Have we no decency that you doing your job and you're capturing and you're captured? And this guy denigrate that, and you said that was nothing special what McCain did.
Because
he's a troop.
That's his job. That was his job. Like if something that happened to me, coming out the door of that bird, that's my job. It goes with the job.
So why do we give people Medal of Honor for doing their job, sir?
Some go above and beyond the call of duty.
But that's their job. So when you begin to justify, now it was their job to die for their country, right?
Well, that's what they tell us.
But so why give them a medal? Why recognize it?
Because we do realize that there's some people who go above and beyond the
That's my point. So it's going beyond the job. That's my point.
Mhm.
It's not the job, sir.
But when you get involved in
This guy was
politics, though, wait.
okay.
When you get involved in politics, okay, I have seen too many officers, even some field grade officers who are in politics, like this Kelly guy, that go way beyond the.
I'm not talking about Kelly. I'm talking about John McCain. I'm talking about a guy that everybody recognized this guy's significant contribution to the military until that guy denigrated it, and then you begin to now saying, well, he ain't doing nothing really special. I mean, Kevin, we turn a blind eye to anything he does, and that's my challenge is that when the 9/11 President Bush went to a mosque,
right, to
signify that these people are citizens of this country, he tried to unify the country. And did you like George Bush, or you thought he was a squishy?
I thought he was kind of squishy personally, but
oh Lord, okay, thanks, sir. Bye.
That's just me. That's just me. I thought he was kind of squishy. But, yeah, that's the way it goes. Yellow Don.
Wow, Reverend Willie. Reverend Willie would have never brought that up if you hadn't. And he was loaded for bear, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, he wasn't.
Hey, Reverend Willie, do you realize what recruiting is doing right now? People who want to serve under Donald Trump. Maybe you said your son wouldn't want to serve under. Maybe he can get out. I bet you think they would let Willie's son get out since he don't want to serve under Donald Trump?
Now I got to tell you, he never said his son wouldn't.
That's a damn lie. I heard him say it.
Well, I got to hear it again because I
heard him say it. I heard him say the other day, murder them all. Didn't he say that? Did he claim that Hegseth said that?
Well, somebody claimed it.
Murder them all. Did he ever come back and address that lie?
Yeah, well, I mean, somebody said he said it, but
Willie Durham is a scum of the earth. His hate for Trump is so damn bad.
Yeah. Well, again, scum of the earth. Come on now.
I wish Willie Durham had half the crap that's been done to Donald Trump. You know, you had your buddy Willie Knight on that 63 things. They were all trumped up crap in New York and voted on by blacks.
Yeah. Well,
and there wasn't one single white person on the jury. You know, the American people. Hey, Willie, he got voted in, and he would be voted in again today because he's actually doing stuff. You know, it's so pathetic. Your hatred for the man is so pathetic. I know. Hell, you ought to pay for your damn shit. You know, your Whitewater down there, you wouldn't sign for it. They ain't a soul going to it. How much money did you cost the city of Montgomery?
It's cold right now, brother. Ain't nobody going to it.
No, yeah, they got a skating rink down there.
Oh, do they? Well, it's too cold to skate for me.
Because you ain't never been. Have you ever been?
Yeah.
Have you rode down Air Base Boulevard? You know that was supposed to bring hotels and everything down there. You see a hotel down there?
Well, let it get started.
It's just a crack house.
It takes about 3 to 5 years to get anything.
Man. So you listen to those things. How much it gonna cost us before we get there? I bet you. What are we going to name the new thing downtown for? We're gonna name it the Joe. What's the mayor's name now? Joe Reed Auditorium, or the which Reed we're gonna name the auditorium?
And we need it. Do we need a civic center?
No, we don't. We got Impact down there. You gonna break it?
Impact is owned by private organization, not the city.
So you think the city ought to own something?
Yes.
And what? You're so stupid. When has the city done good at owning anything?
I got company.
Huh?
I got company.
Oh, yeah, I know you have.
I gotta go. Okay. All righty then. Again, listen, and maybe I'm too much like Donald Trump to feel all this pity for people doing their job. That's your job. You know, everybody's job in the military has some danger, regardless of the job. Everybody's job and some paid the ultimate cost. He was a prisoner of war. I'm with you. I respect that. But once you get in the land of politics, a lot of these people forget their military bearing and they go political. And the minute you separate politics from your bearing, I'm done with you. Then I'm judging you on the civilian standard, okay, not the military standard. Okay, they left that alone. When you get to Washington D.C. and everybody tells you that your doo doo don't stink, now you think you somebody. Okay, you use all humility and you think you somebody. So I mean, listen, but again, I was telling you, sergeant. So that E8 just talked to me. Their perspective of leadership is a little different because they get up there and they get the hobnob with the big boys. I didn't. I'm down there. I'm still I'm still down there with the privates. Okay, trying to get the job done. But anyway. So I don't think McCain was supposed to be given this special treatment because he did his job. He did his job, and that's our job as military men. So I don't, but once you enter the field of politics, and this is just my own saying, I think all bets are off. Okay, we salute your tenure in the military, we salute your sacrifices, but now we in the political world, and that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game because now you get to talk about the president, get to disagree with him publicly, where we in the military understood that disagreement should be done in private and congratulations should be done in public. But these people go to the airways of America to just do all they can to belittle this guy. And I see him. Listen, I don't think he's this brilliant tactician at all. Trump's not a tactician at all. He's a smack you upside the head and smack you inside the head and get it done kind of guy. Get it done kind of guy. I would imagine that he had some. I would imagine that he had some. Um, um, some. I mean, some. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. He had some appreciation for McCain. I think. I mean, you can't be a citizen and find out what the guy went through and not have some appreciation for what he went through. But is he owed our allegiance no matter what he used to say or used to do politically because he did his job? I don't think anyway. I don't get that. You know. But anyway, not a problem though. People can have their own opinions, and everybody in this country right now can have their own opinion except Trump. Trump, Trump don't get his own opinion. I don't like everything he does. I don't like everything my mom did. Me and God have talked sometimes, but I don't dislike or anything that God does because that's way above that's way above my pay grade. Okay, but anyway, so much for that. That's all I'm saying. I just think that sometimes when these people were nobodies, Trump knew a lot of these people. It is not his fault that he these people who have gandered a little bit of what are they? They've gotten a little bit of notoriety, and they're using that notoriety to bomb blast him at every opportunity they can. So I understand his anger. I just do. I understand his anger at people. Let him be president. Let him do his job. This is all politics for most of the Democrats and just about everybody that don't like the guy is a Democrat. Okay, who hold on to this philosophy that what they say is right and when anybody else says outside the Democratic Party is wrong. I certainly don't agree with that. Trump's been wrong and he's been right about it. Let me put it this way: he's been right about more things than he's been wrong about. I don't care about the personal attacks on people. I don't. It don't bother me at all. As long as you don't mess with their checking account, try to put them in jail for spiritless reasons and things of that nature. I don't care what he says about them. Don't bother me. Is it a bad look sometimes? Okay, I'm gonna agree with Willie on that. Yeah, it is a bad look sometimes. But overall, this country is in a lot better shape than it was when somebody else was running it. Yes. Hello.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Fine. Listen, I want to ask you one question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, looking at some of the things that your guy has said to people, like calling the lady, be quiet, a little piggy,
Mm-hmm.
and all some other things he said so derogatory, so ugly to them.
Mm-hmm.
This is my thing on this. If he calls you out of your name, he's the president of the United States. Don't you think you have a right to just go just as low as he and call him a name too? But see, you'll go to jail.
And you don't go to jail. For
He'll have you locked up.
you can't
He
have no.
calls him past what he has called people.
Name something that somebody said could go to jail in this country.
Well, how many people he don't put in tried to put in jail? Comey and all the other ones.
Wait a minute, how many people try to put? Wait a minute, how many people try to put him in
My
jail?
point is, he will put you in jail. But my point is, do you think it's right for someone to stand in your face and call you out your name?
I don't
and
care.
you don't have to.
I don't
That's
care.
you.
I don't care.
You just haven't met the right person yet.
You need to toughen up.
But that's my point. He just haven't met the right person yet.
Well, maybe not. I don't. But he will. Now let me ask you something. If somebody calls him a name, and they've done it, listen, he don't have no right to get mad either, because
No.
what? He gets to call names back. Okay, and social media has not made it any easier to get beyond these names, because now you put it online and millions of people see it all of a sudden, and that's both sides. When they call him something,
And that's but
he called him
see,
something.
you have to look at this is the president of the United States that say we're supposed to live this way.
He's
We
still a
talk
man.
about our morals.
He's
we
still a
talk
man.
about
though.
our
What morals?
conservative values. We talk about all this Christianity.
Well, now,
This
wait a
is
minute.
the office.
Trump-
You have to look at the office, Kevin.
Yeah. Trump has
The
not
office.
necessarily been I couldn't tell you if Trump was a Christian or not, but I can tell you
Well,
one
you
thing.
know, have you seen him in church often other than
No,
his inauguration?
but let me tell you what I haven't seen him do is try to quiet Christians about their speech. He doesn't care anything about you saying happy holidays or Merry Christmas or go to church. He has not tried, where other presidents have tried to shall I say silence the Christian in this country, and to the point they turned the White House blue, black, red, blue, and green for LGBT.
Well,
So
for the end of this year and going into 2026,
yes.
I hope we as a country find our manners and our dignity and be
And that's
prudent
on both
in what
sides.
we say in the new year for everybody.
And that's on both
And
sides.
respect the office of the president. So when we go to other countries and we call them a shithole country,
Yeah.
they can look back now at us and say we don't want them because we don't have no values and morals, and we talking out the side of our mouth.
Well, again, we don't like using that word values and moral, because both sides are not perfect. Both sides. Trump's not perfect. He says crazy.
No one is.
Right. He
But
says
if you're
crazy
going to be the president, be
Yeah.
the president and respect the office.
well, I can't argue with that. But I think other people have to respect the office also. And
But
they have
most of the
not.
times when you see people in the interviews and stuff, they ain't cussing him. I hadn't heard anybody in the interview, all them insults, have cursed him or called him out of his name. They just asked the question. I can see if somebody
Well, I
cursed
looked it
him
up.
or
I
called
looked
him
it
out
up
of his name.
I've looked that up a couple of times, and there have been cases where news people have said crazy things about him. I mean, listen, but that goes with the job.
About him, but not
Right.
to his face while he's in an interview or in
But
an
let me ask
office.
you something. Wouldn't you rather they call you to your face than wait till you get out someplace else and call you? Tell me to my face what you think.
Kevin, the world is looking at you.
Don don't
Children
care.
are looking at you.
Yeah,
They're looking at you.
yeah, they
You're
are.
the president.
Yeah. Well, again, we did not put a regular guy, a regular politician in office. We put a guy that came from the streets of New York and believe in knocking you out if you said the wrong thing. And for some reason, I find that somewhat refreshing.
Well, Al Capone is dead.
Yeah.
We don't need them.
Yeah, that's true. But
We don't need no more gangsters. We need a cool head to keep us on the level playing field, because the people are already off the hook.
Yeah.
So we don't need a president that's off the chain too.
Yeah. Well,
Somebody got to have a
and
level
again,
head.
listen, I'm like you. I wish sometimes he would just chill, you know, but he don't. That's not who he is. That's not who he is. So we gotta get both sides of him, and like we got both sides of Obama. We got I don't know what side we got of Biden, Clinton. We got both sides of all of it. There's not been a perfect man that came to the White House. His problem is that he talks too much sometimes, and Biden's problem was he didn't hardly talk at all. So
Well,
everybody, they all got issues.
well, I pray that our next president get back to what we used to be.
Hmm. All right.
I pray that whoever it is.
Okay. Which I don't ever remember a time when somebody didn't talk about somebody.
Yeah, but no, this not name calling like this is.
Well, then again, they've called him names. I don't have a problem. If you don't want to hear, you remember the DJ for
I
WXVI?
remember what you said.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, Mr. Ralph Featherstone, what he used to say.
Yeah, well, but hey,
Okay, I'm just saying.
my mama taught me
Yeah,
some things just not to be said.
I agree with you. But if you don't start it, then you don't have to stop it. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like Featherstone, you say, if you don't want to hear it, don't let it happen. Poor Ralph is up there with the good Lord now. Let me see now. Well, it says J.D. Vance called the folks jobs when they talked about Charlie Kirk double standards. And you know what? I didn't like that. I didn't like when the school system here wanted to fire a teacher for what she said, even though I didn't like what she said. I stood up and fought for her to keep her job, not to be fired, because this is still America. And you still have a right to say stupid things if you want to. And that's the president of the United States also. As long as I don't get us in a war or anything like that, I'm good. Okay. So yeah, that's the only, you realize that's really one of the only things that we do as a nation that makes us exactly different than most every other country in the world. Okay. We get to say, okay, pretty much what we want to. It is called freedom of speech. And just because the only group of people in this nation that gives up that right to say exactly what they want to are soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. Okay. And they voluntarily surrendered that one right when they raised their right hand and said, I do solemnly swear. Okay. So again, and I will obey the orders, okay, of the NCOs and the officers and the presidency of the United States, and to fulfill my obligation to the Constitution. So listen, everybody else can say, because I know I said a couple of things to the CEO one time and I ended up losing a couple of dollars. Okay. So I'm not telling you what I know, what I'm thinking. I'm telling you what I know. Okay. Well, Obama said that there were bitter clingers who cling on to their guns, Bibles, and apathy. To people who don't even like them, live like them. Well, that may be true too. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, so everybody. I think one thing I love about this whole internet thing here, we can go back and find something nasty that somebody has said on both sides. On both sides. So let's not act like Trump's done did something that somebody else hasn't done. Okay, yeah, we've done it. We've been nasty to one another. I mean, we got folks nowadays fighting in church. Okay, somebody sent me a video the other day. Guy goes up to a guy in church and knocks him the hell out. I said, in church? And you know what he got? And the preacher did the right thing. They went out and grabbed the guy and tried to take him to the baptism place up there. Baptize that son of a gun while he's there in church. Maybe we get some of that evil spirit out of him. Now, I don't know what happened between him. I don't know if the guy was hitting on his old lady, whatever the case may be. I don't know. But there are a lot of places to fight. But you really shouldn't fight in church. Okay. I'm just thinking that's a bridge too far for me to fight in church. That's not very good. Anyway, good morning to all of you. And again, I'm just trying to explain to you why I'm not so upset with the president of the United States if he happened to use a couple of choice words that the same ones who have been used against him. I just don't. It's not a. It is not a. a thing that I'm worried about us going to war over. This is now if you started calling Putin names, Putin might get upset about it, or Maduro calling him names. He may do about it, but again, I don't think we're ready to go to war because somebody got called a name. Now, do we? I don't think so. Okay, but in America, this is and I thought England. In England, there's certain things. The folks across the pond over there, there are certain things they don't get to say. I don't think they can talk in public about the king and the queen. I don't think that. What? I don't want to live over there. The king and the queen go to the bathroom the same way I do. When he gets in there, old Charles gets in there, he drops his pants and let it roll like everybody else does, and it probably stinks. So now, until you can show me that you can go to the bathroom and drop your load and it don't smell, then I'm good to go. Then okay. But other than that, you just like everybody else. You put your pants on one leg at a time. Except me, I put mine two legs at a time because I jump in them. But anyway, so much for that. So I'm not all upset when people talk about each other. I don't care. I mean, as a matter of fact, I find it kind of entertaining. Okay. Okay. Capone died of syphilis. Did you know him? Come on now. All right then. All right then. What else is going on? Okay. Now again, I'm just telling you that I'm not all upset about the things that Donald Trump says. Okay, I'm just not. I think he has a right to defend his honor and things like and things of that nature. And if you don't want, listen, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with this subject. If I come in the room with a shotgun, and you come in the room with a water gun, I would think twice about saying anything against the guy with the shotgun. Okay, he is the president of the United States, and he does command the attention of the world. And so, if you don't want the president of the United States talking about you so the whole world can hear what he said, then maybe you ought to cut him some slack also. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Just cut him some slack too, and let him cut you some slack. Okay. Okay. So I'm just saying you might not. So again, the shotgun and the water gun. Don't pick on a guy with a shotgun if all you got's a water gun. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay, don't even do it. Go fight somebody or go squirt the roaches or something like that. Come back later when you're better armed. Okay, that's all I can tell you. Anyway, so much for that. As we go on to something else here, I just had to. And people went, well, you think he can? No, I don't think he can do anything he wants to. But I don't think everybody else gets to do what he can't do. That's my problem. If you want to call him names, fine. He's gonna call you some names. Unfortunately, when he calls you a name, the world's gonna know about it. When you call him a name, nobody knows about you. So if you want to have that, somebody will say you never pick a fight with a guy who has ink by the barrel. Okay, you never pick a fight with a guy. Okay. As a matter of fact, Obama did say, if they bring a knife, you bring a gun. Okay. So I'm just, I think Trump just following the orders. Okay. Don't pick on a guy bigger than you if you don't want to get a butt whooping. Okay. That's all I'm saying. If you don't want to get a butt whooping, don't. Now, can he stand a little training and protocol and diplomacy? Sure he can. But with a word we call it is tact. 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 That's how you can tell people to kiss your butt and make them want to invite you to dinner. Now that is a trait that very few people have, except me. Of course, I can do it. I can tell you to kiss my butt and you want to take me out to lunch. I got that part. Yeah, because I'm exquisite at giving my opinion in a nice way. That's one of the things that I can do quite well, as a matter of fact. Even if that means I have to talk above your pay grade in order to insult you so you don't know it. That's good. Okay. I'm good with that. So, there aren't too many people out there like me because I am a, what is the word? I am a anomaly, kind of like Star Trek. I'm one of those things you rarely you heard about. You heard about me, but you don't really know me. Okay, so I'm just saying that's good. Moving right along to something else, though. Moving right along to something else. Listen, does Alabama have the dumbest crooks in America? Okay. Hello, Teresa. No word. The word is not tact. Excuse me. Oh, the word not tact is decency. Well, one man's decency is another man's tact. Okay, one man's lack of decency is another man's lack of having tact. Okay, and that's being able to say things in a way that don't offend everybody. Okay, but I'm just saying, you never fight with a guy who can write well using English. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay, I'm just saying I don't have any problem. The word is not tact, it's deep. And again, we all have our, and the one thing about the military though, that once you get above the rank of E7, I think or E6, once you get E7, E8, E9, I think you learn politics because you lead a lot more people when you're at that rank than I did. You know what I mean? You lead a lot more people and you deal with a lot more people. You deal with people whose feelings get hurt. You deal with people who whatever. You have to be diplomatic about it, especially when you're talking to the generals and the sergeant majors and you. So I never got that high in rank. I was lucky to keep what I had. So and one of the reasons why the first time I had my promotion papers on his desk one day, and of course I said something to him, and he didn't like it. Oh, uh-oh. My guesses here are, hey, Robert, you don't have on the camera. You got when you give people the when you log into the studio, it's going to ask you to give access to your camera and to your microphone and do that next time though I'll get you out on the next time around here, okay? So log out, log back in. But anyway, Robert White's going to join us hopefully in a few minutes here, and that's one of my favorite friends, and we don't agree on things either, but he's always respectful with me even though we don't agree, and I'm always respectful to him because philosophically we don't agree on all things, but we can still have a conversation about these things. I mean, he's smarter than I am in some ways, and I have more wisdom than he has in some other ways. Only because I'm older. That's all. Of course, just because you get old don't make you wise. Do it. No, no, it don't. Anyway, let's talk about. I'll wait till Robert gets back here in a minute. Now you can call me on the phone, Robert, if you need to do that. Let's see. My phone number is what's my phone? Where the phone number's up there someplace. Yeah, 521-29 63. If you want to do that, now we can do it by phone if you want to. But the best way to do it is that thing right there. Okay. Now there he is.
Hey, man.
I was giving you all this credit for being smarter than me, so I wanted.
No, I never said that, Kevin.
I know you didn't say it. I mean, some things I know the truth of.
Okay. How you
So
doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Tell the folks who you are, Robert.
All right. Robert White, instructor at Alabama State University. I'm also a pastor and union organizer, and recently started a media company. So we're moving forward.
And you are also you have a doctorate in something.
Yeah, in law and
In law.
philosophy.
Okay,
Mhm,
law and philosophy.
from Jones School of Law.
Okay, philosophy. I'm aware of. I know a lot about that, but we
Okay.
don't really use that too much anymore.
Well, the degrees have like law and philosophy on it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
law is philosophy. So
Okay, but I know you are one of the few people that actually make me think. Don't make me agree with you, but we think you and again this time of year in Montgomery, like all over the United States, we go backwards a little bit because we are always trying to undo the past. In my mind, with
okay,
the things we celebrate, I understand remembering those things, but we never can get out of the way of the past. And at the end of each year, like we're almost to now, we tend to bring up the past, and then we go into the future, which is tomorrow, with a regeneration of the past, knowing that won't change what happened. You are a humanitarian kind of a teacher too. You teach humanitarians, right? Humanitarian.
I teach in two. Well, I teach humanities and I teach in the law department. So
Okay.
I teach in two. Mhm.
And the one thing nobody's figured out how to do yet is undo the past.
Well, and nobody's well, yeah, and that's true. And what we try to do is we try to make sense of the past. And a lot of times we mistake familiarity with knowledge, which means that we'll celebrate a Montgomery bus boycott, but I don't think we will be able to find too many people that can name the four plaintiffs that were actually involved in the lawsuit that ended the segregation on the buses, or at least the law. And because we don't study our history and we don't discuss it as a field of study, right? We tend to be very flippant and limited in our knowledge of the subject, although we're familiar with it. You know, we'll have okay, Martin Luther King Day, okay, boycott, 7 Montgomery March. Okay, yeah, let's go. So what really happened on that day? Oh, well, we really don't know. Black people march. March for what? Well, they were marching because they wanted to be free. Marching because they well, I know, but what specifically what they? And so when we look into the stories, you'll find some phenomenal stories that everybody can learn from. But at the same time, if we don't, as I always say and others say, we can't teach what we don't know. So there's a difference between celebrating and commemorating and studying something as a field of scientific research.
Scientific research. Well,
Oh, absolutely.
that's an interesting conversation in itself. But again, my thing is that we seem to be the only group of people in this country that have not taken that knowledge and empowered ourselves with it, as opposed to lingering in the past.
Right. And that's again, Kevin, that's because we don't study. I mean, we don't have, except at our university and a couple other places, you don't have classes where you can study this stuff. You know,
Will it get you a job though? Will it
and
get you a
ask
job?
questions.
Will it get you a job?
What you say now? You say,
Will it get you a job? I mean, really?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
where?
Do you realize, Kevin, the entire social media AI situation emerges out of what we talk about? And let me give you an example, okay? Now, let's say that if you watch a interview, let's say with Steve Jobs or with Bezos or some of these trillionaires, right?
Right.
They're techies, right?
Right.
And they deal with STEM, okay? Now, the first question that will emerge, or a poignant question will emerge in that conversation: what is your philosophy of life?
Okay.
Now, what side of the campus is that? See, because everybody that's worried about ChatGPT and AI and all of those things, they are concerned with not only the technology part, but what you're going to do with it and whether it's going to help or hurt the human species. You see? And so that is where these types of conversations come in, because our conversations are matters of life and death. So you can have the technical part, but if you don't have the ethical part and you don't have the humanitarian part, then it loses all of its luster. And you get a movie like The Terminator, to where people created advanced technology and used it to destroy the world. So we have to continue to raise these questions, and we have to have these serious scientific discussions, because the major issues of our time are not STEM questions, they're ethical questions. So that's where the social sciences come in. Now, sad thing is that if you Google the Powell memo, and Justice Powell was appointed by Richard Nixon to the Supreme Court. Well, before he was added to the Supreme Court, he wrote a memo that's famous now. Noam Chomsky made it famous by quoting it, but it identifies the social sciences as being the biggest enemy to free enterprise, and I couldn't disagree with that more. It is the social sciences that has attributed to free enterprise more than any other part. But if you allow people to steal narratives, and our side of the campus has done a horrible job retaliating against the negative streams that have been put out there about these courses, what they are, and the importance of it, purely because in the past we've never had to. And so now we have to put our best foot forward, and we have to say, hey, not only is our Constitution being trampled on to the highest level and to the highest degree, but we also have a regime of people in power now that can only claim to be a mammal. That's it. Now, making statements like that are pretty tough, but at the same time, we can back it up with history. But if you're not learning history and you're not able to put the pieces of the puzzle together, a lot will slip by you, and you think that you'll be standing up for America and making America first, when you're actually making Russia first, and Hungary and Poland and Czechoslovakia and all of these other places that had demagogues and authoritarian regimes like the one we got now.
Now I'm gonna see. Now you took me to a place. You know, you took me to a place.
Well, Kevin,
Listen,
you remember when COVID hit? You know,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
on your show
Mhm.
quite often, and you remember I said that we had my organization called the HBCU Legal Focus Group
Mhm.
predicted 21 areas where the president, where the executive government would violate the U.S. Constitution. Remember that?
I don't remember that, but go right ahead.
Well, out of the 21, we picked 17, and this nation now is off the rails. There is no
to
resemblance.
you, to
Oh no,
you,
no,
it
no,
is.
no, 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 no. Oh no, no, no,
And
Kevin.
people who think like you, but I don't feel that. I
No,
don't feel that.
Kevin. No,
I don't feel that
no.
though.
Ask the farmers. When have the farmers been killing each other at the rate that they're doing?
Farmers.
Yeah, just Google farmers suicide.
Well, we got soldiers
the-
been killing themselves too.
Exactly. What's the number one cause of death among police officers? Police officers.
Rap music.
Why? No, police officers.
Yeah,
Look it
rap
up,
music.
Kevin.
Rap
No.
music.
No,
Yo,
Kevin.
suicide, you
Police
gonna say
officers.
suicide?
Kevin, police officers. Police
Suicide.
officers kill police officers. Yes.
Yeah.
You
Well,
look at the cases. Look at the cases in Montgomery.
and how do you?
How do I attribute it to it?
Yeah. How do you attribute that to?
Very
to-
easy, Kevin. Your
Okay.
work environment. When you're called to do stuff that is contrary to your humanity, when you're called to do stuff that's contrary to the law, to policy, and you look at all of these corrupt systems, it causes you to do that, Kevin.
and
We've
give me
never had
give
that
me-
before.
Give me an
the
example. I've been
farmers-
living in the same country you live in.
The farmers are the bedrock of our country. And just
Okay.
Google farmer suicide.
But we don't live in an agrarian society anymore.
I know, Kevin, but if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't have a food supply, Kevin, you're in the military. When
Well,
a
why
foreign
don't we have-
nation,
But
when
we
a
do
foreign
work.
nation wants to take over a place, what's the first thing they hit? The food
Mhm.
supply. So we have no food supply. All of our food is going to other places, and we're relying on other places to supply us with food. That's American.
Well, give me who, because I'm lost here. We got a nation that can grow anything.
Okay, but we're not.
Well, then
Just,
why
just
aren't we?
do your research, Kevin. I'm not going to do this
Technology-
for you.
But
I'm not
a lot of, okay, if we've done
If you
anything
pay
wrong-
me, I'll do it. But
okay, well, I
Kevin, you
want
got to
to-
do your research on this,
wait,
man.
If you keep telling kids in school that they need a college degree, okay, and that's one of the disadvantages of our whole educational system in America. You keep telling me I need to go out and get a degree. I need
Well,
to
Kevin,
take
well, let me ask you this.
SAT, and now I don't want to pick up potatoes, and
But
I don't
Kevin-
want to if I've got a degree.
Right, but Kevin, when I went to Reeltown High School, right?
Yeah.
We had what's called vocational agriculture, right? Taught by a man named Joe Fred Ledbetter. Now, he taught us how to roof, plumb, put plumbing in. He taught us how to grow stuff, how to weld. We didn't do any welding specifically, but he at least showed us how to do it, and how to cut wood, how to do all of these skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff carried over. It carried over into my personal life. Then
And we don't want to do it now.
and then, I know, but Kevin, who got rid of that though? Who got rid of vocational agriculture? in
Your
Alabama
school
schools?
system did.
Okay, who was in charge of the school system? It darn sure wasn't us.
Well, you got a point.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, see, there we go. Just look at the dates. Look at the dates when they started cutting all this stuff out. Now, if you were an American And I'm telling you, Kevin, most of the time when people say, I'm proud to be an American, when at least they are freaking, let me tell you what they are. They are Nazi.
Wait a minute, I believe in that
Okay.
song. I don't make me a Nazi.
Most of the time when they say that. Now, here's the point. The point is that when you take away vocational agriculture, okay, when that's not a part of the education, what kind of message are you sending kids?
So why are you guys letting that happen?
We're not letting anything happen, Kevin.
Because
you can bet if we had anything to say about it, it wouldn't have happened.
But it comes from DC, the Department of Education.
No, Kevin, they don't have nothing to do with this. This is state-run stuff.
So wait a minute. So why do we have a Department of Education if they don't have anything to do with it?
Well, because we don't. First of all, that's why we're in the situation we're in now, Kevin, because people don't want the Fed involved. See, the Fed, you don't have a constitutional right for the U.S. Department of Education to get in your business.
That's right, you don't.
They'll set standards and they'll say this: if you're gonna have a vocational program, it needs to be this, and this. But they can't make you do anything. And so when you start researching who got rid of the vocational ag, the trade schools, we used to have trade schools to where students could go and learn all kind of trades, because that's going to be the big money making stuff now, being a plumber, an electrician, a mechanic, HVAC, all of those things, excavating, all of those things, all of those skills are going to be very, very lucrative. But if you don't have the skill, then where are you gonna get the training, and how are you gonna make the money? So
now one of our listeners are saying that vocational agriculture is still taught in Alabama.
All right, well, it may be taught in Alabama, but where? And
that I don't know.
And what and if it is, which I have no reason to say that it's not, then how about let's put in that, making a proposal that Montgomery schools and area schools, we recreate our trade schools or amp them up.
You can't keep telling people you got to get a college degree and then expect me to want to get out there.
Kevin, I haven't said that. I said education.
But our system is telling these young folks you need a college degree. Let
me tell you what they're not. Let me tell you what they're telling Kevin. They're not telling them anything. I mean, they're not. There's no major ground slide push for college education in Alabama.
Let me go ahead, Don. I know you're finna say something crazy, but go ahead.
Can he hear me? I want him to hear me.
Can you hear him, Dr.
Yeah, slightly.
Okay, well, speak a little louder.
He must be confusing South Africa where the blacks are killing farmers. Is he doing that?
Did you hear he say?
And where these police are committing suicide, aren't the mayors black and the police chief are black, the sheriffs are black? Maybe they don't like working under blacks. Where are these people committing suicide at, White?
Did you hear him, Dr. White?
Yeah, he said something about where people doing suicide. Yeah, just Google it.
Okay, but
tell us where they're committing suicide.
Now just Google it. Just
where they're working
let me tell you what I'm not going to do.
Black police chief.
Look, I'm not up here to prove anything to you, man. Just Google it. I mean, we're in the information age now. You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer a whole bunch of questions now. You can just Google it.
But Google only has the information that other people put in it.
Exactly, and that's why there've been a lot of movements to eliminate data collecting apparatus from the state. So they don't want you to know, but it's there. I mean, just Google police suicide.
Well, let me say, I got a young fellow that's my son who just graduated high school here in last May. They were concerned about, even if you go in the military, they want to know about your SAT scores, your ACT. I mean, it is not whether or not you're capable of learning the task at hand. They want to know how smart you are, not how many potatoes you can pick or anything like that. So we are turning our kids into not want to do these the agrarian job that used to be there. I mean, it's your school system that is leading them away from those types of jobs.
Well, Kevin, and if that may be true, if by not offering the opportunity, like Trenton State, right? Trenton State has all of these courses you can take, right? On how to do just about everything.
Right.
And that place should be running over with students, but it's not.
Well,
And
now my son, they got a duality where you can get, because when he walked across the graduation stage last year, he also got something earlier from Trenton State because he taken a dual class with them, and what I thought was wonderful.
yeah, it proves my point. I mean, I'm saying, but there needs to be way more kids going over there to get these trades. But you know, if the overall culture does not embrace work and labor, right, then you're going to have a lot of problems.
But we have devalued it, though. We as Americans have devalued that culture of labor.
Well, and Kevin, that's my point. That's why I said, if you think you're an American, you need to think again, because anything that devalues working class people is, in my opinion, by nature anti-American. So you've got corporate oligarchs running stuff now, and they don't appreciate what it is that we're talking about. They don't have any hands-on knowledge of what it's like to be a working class person and how we're going to make it. And so when you declare war on your own workforce and start cutting all of these jobs, especially at a vulnerable time like now, but then at the same time paying all of this attention to countries whom we claim to not have any, we're not supposed to have any kind of, forget what you call it, diplomatic ties per se, but we'll enter into all of these millions and trillions of dollars worth of deals while American people are sitting back wondering how we're going to eat. That's not American, Kevin. That's not. I mean, all you got to do is look at the condition of your people and understand that we are under attack, but the attack is coming from within. And the themes that are being used are themes that get people excited, but it doesn't help them not one bit. But that's why I'm saying
aren't we responsible for maintaining and ensuring that we have a way to succeed? Because we can't change, we can't go back to the agrarian society. We got technology now, and I say the problem with technology.
Kevin, but technology don't have anything to do with growing tomatoes and carrots and corn and.
Well, you can grow more now with less people.
Well, but see, then again, the question becomes, what's the quality of the food that you're getting? Because you're not going to be able. You're going to have to. Well, they've already done it. Genetically engineer food to be grown in a, and that's, the question is out on whether that's healthy or not. But my thing is I'm talking about the custodial care of our government. I'm talking about the moral responsibility that people have to operate in the best interest of the people, not the government. See, that's the thing. The government is supposed to operate in the best interest of the people, not the government itself.
Let me ask something. Then, do you believe that the previous administration, by allowing millions of people to come in this country to do those jobs that we either didn't want to do or didn't have to do because we did the SNAP program?
No, let me tell you why. Because how did they get over here? Who lured them here? Who hired them?
We did.
Okay, then. So that's why they came, Kevin.
I realize that.
Let me tell you why they came. They came because the home builders, the realtors, the foresters, the transportation people, contractors hired them. Now, I wonder what side of the aisle those people are on. Those companies those industries that I just named, are those people Democrat or Republican?
Probably.
The major home builders, the major employers of illegal labor in Alabama are people who are red. So this is what happens. They understand that they can get cheap labor. So they do everything they can to get these people over here.
Okay,
but as much money, make as much money as they can, and then snatch the rug out from up under them and make them go back.
So
now, hold on. Now, is that American? See,
no.
because all we got to do, and this is why I won't run for public office or anything like that. But if I did, this is what I would do. I would just ask those corporations to reveal their payroll tax. because there's no way for you to do that volume of work without the proper documentation on who you employed. And that'll tell the tale right there.
So-
the very people that are kicking these people out were the very ones that lured them there. Now, everything I'm saying to you, Kevin, everybody knows.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not kicking to you anything that's not talked about in barbershops, that's not talked about at the feed store or at the sawmill or whatever. The question is, when are people going to stop playing footsie and stop playing games and operating in the best interest of the country?
Okay.
When?
And listen, I don't have, but are you telling me now? And again, we talk about philosophy and logic and reason. What reasonable person or business would put the people out of work that they need to buy their products?
There you go, Kevin. So that you need to ask that to the people that's in charge. You need to ask that to the people. See, because here's the thing. When people talk about capitalism, right? Most people have no idea what they're talking about. And there's an author, she's dead now, but she gave one of the best. I'm a big fan of hers because of her honesty. Her name was Ayn Rand. Okay. I don't know if you ever read the book Fountainhead, but she gave an Atlas Shrugged, but she does a talk on capitalism, and she said the biggest enemy of capitalism in America is people who call themselves capitalists. A powerful statement. And she identified the conservatives as being the biggest frauds, the biggest hypocrites to the capitalist idea that we've ever seen. Just go back, see, because when I say stuff like this, Kevin, what I'm asking the people to do, I'm just baiting you to read. Okay? That's all I'm doing. Baiting you to read and baiting you to do your own research and to get an understanding. Why would people do that, Kevin? The reason why is because a lot of the people who claim to be Republicans and who claim to be so for America and who claim to be capitalists are not. They're what Ayn Rand called money appropriators. They take money from people and reappropriate it into business as if that's capital, and it's not.
Okay, so
It's
let
not.
me.
So
and again, I just got to ask.
a lot of the corporations, a lot of the people in Alabama have gotten rich purely because of their relationship with government, not because they're good business people and they're these geniuses and that they've pilfered the government, stolen government contracts, and have done all of this stuff. And then when we try to talk about Medicare and Medicaid, they try to give us some jive lecture on socialism as if what they're doing is not socialism to the highest degree.
So now, according to you, and I'm just extracting what I'm hearing from you. So according to you, the people that we have voted for in Washington, D.C. on both sides
are frauds,
are enemies to the people they say they represent.
Absolutely. And they use government to make money and then try to flip it and make it look like that there's these geniuses and that these innovative people. The only thing they're innovative in is stealing.
So if you know this, I'm going to assume that other people know this. What are you guys doing about it?
What are we doing about it? Well, we're writing about it. I'm on this show.
No, that's true.
And whenever people give me an opportunity to talk, I talk. I write books. I write peer-reviewed articles. I got a website, highway80.org. Which talks about civil rights and Black history and stuff. But I produce radio shows all around the country. Got one good one on another station, on Killadilla station called Lunch with Labor, to where we kick these facts and kick more facts.
When is that? When is
every Tuesday at 12 o'clock on the Big KD. Yeah,
the Big KD. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and I and about 4 or 5 other union leaders who talk about.
I'll have to tune in because I'm interested in this kind of thing. But I see a duplicity here, and a little bit of the group of people in this country that has made millions of dollars off the education system. Okay, an education system that needs to be revamped. I did one day. I did it didn't take very long to do the math for this. Out of 12 years of school, we only go to the school. Actually go up in the building for 9 years. Okay, if you
Okay.
take 3 months off a year for whatever, that in 12 years, that means you gave people 3 years off. Okay, which means that we could actually teach whatever we need to teach in 9 years, and that 10, 11, 12th grade could be based in some sort of working for your dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Learning something that can make you a living, but we don't. We waste those 3 years, 10th, 11th, and 12th. We waste those years with makeshift work.
Yeah.
So you're in education. How come somebody hasn't did something about this?
What they
Maybe-
have is called, well, see, the thing is, and that's true, but you got to understand that public education, a lot of it was population control and not so much education. So you have to keep this class of kids or this class of age group occupied for this long to coincide with the habits of working class people, right? So because our society is so changed, I mean, because, and that's what, as educators, that's what we sit up and think about. We've predicted that the college system won't last another 10 years. And when I say we,
not in its
Yeah.
present form.
I
don't
say
see.
I say we because that college professors all over the world, we get together and talk, right? And you know, we have different groups that, you know, we meet just like on Zoom or whatever, and sometimes we meet in person, and which is great. But educators, we're coming up with another way of doing it, and it's not going to be anything like online or that type stuff, because you know, the online stuff is probably going to collapse too. But there's a far more efficient way of doing college than the way it's being done, and owning our own content and setting up private universities is going to be the next wave, and not like the online stuff, but faculty, you know, are just asking these questions. And it's one thing about it, you know, to run a school, you need faculty. You don't need administrators really, but most of your costs, especially in post-secondary education, go to administrative stuff. And that's where the AI stuff can help. That's where AI is going to come in. What AI is going to do is going to eliminate administration. It's not going to eliminate faculty, because I can write exams that ChatGPT and that can't pass, and all faculty can do that. But
but you don't believe that we don't need unions?
Oh, we need unions. Yeah, as long as you're gonna have human beings, you're gonna have to have organization, and that's what a labor union is. It's a political, or I'll say it's a professional organization. And what you do is you're always going to have people violating your rights. You're always going to have bosses that don't want to pay. You know, you're always going to have businesses that are set up that benefit from the common good, that benefit from society, that are going to try to take advantage of the very people that are going to make them rich. So it's not like people try to steal money or, you know, want more than what you get. But what it is that you need to pay what you owe, and that's all.
So when did you come to this realization, where your thought process is now? When did you? Is this something that in the last 5 years, 2 years, 3? When did you come to this realization that maybe our school systems are not doing their due diligence to prepare our young folks for? And we got all these colleges around here, which are nothing but siphon money.
Okay.
When did you realize this was? And who's helping you get the word out? Besides,
Well, the thing is, Kevin, it's a silent movement, and if you love your subject matter so much, you know, like I do. See, I love teaching. I love teaching African American humanities. I love teaching law classes. You know, I've created a couple of classes too, like ethics and those type things, and major in different areas. But what is motivating me is when I see the transformation in the students. See, that's what does it. They don't leave the same way they came, and a lot of them come from backgrounds that really did not do a good job of educating them at all. And that's the sad thing about it, is that what normally would take somebody 4 years, it may take them 6, purely because they haven't matured, they haven't developed the skills necessary, to function. But that's what does it. To see the students leave and to go off and to do big things. I mean, I got Facebook pages full of students that have gone on to do awesome things. And the question becomes, can that be done, without all the yada yada? And the answer is yes. I mean, you had a couple of years ago, you had this big scandal, Kevin, you remember it, about these celebrities that were paying all this money to get their kids to go to these big schools.
Which I don't blame them. I don't know why that was a big deal.
Well, one of the kids said, Dad, Mom, I don't want to do that. That's just not what I want to do. So they were paying people under the table. People went to jail, because of it. But I guarantee you, the knowledge could have been gotten without even having to go through all of that. And you shouldn't have to pay a whole bunch of money for knowledge. You see, you shouldn't have to go broke, go through all of these loans and all of that crap to learn the law, to learn biology, to learn. You shouldn't. Because
so it is a self-education is a self-destroying entity.
No, self-education is the best education.
No, I'm talking about self-destroying, but you just got done saying all the money is to keep certain people out, because we really
and when that doesn't necessarily have to be. You see what I'm saying? Which means, like, I can teach my class, right, to a bunch of people and charge half of what tuition would be, at any university anywhere, period. And that means just coming to my church or coming to my house, or we find a place and we go through a 12-week situation, and you'll know everything that the kids know. So, so what people are saying is it, why can't we do like we did? Because when you look at the HBCUs, when they got started, they all got started around the same time. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have any money. They didn't have a lot of stuff. But man, look at the people they produced, and that was because of the distance that they had from the teacher to the knowledge, or the student to the knowledge, was very close. So why not do that now? Because
will you agree? Will you agree that there are people who don't have the ability to go beyond certain intellectual status?
Yeah, but the point is that there are other factors that come into play too. See, the assumption is that one only gets knowledge because that knowledge is going to factor into a job. When I just told you that when it's time to ask the techie people major questions, the major questions that they ask are not about the techie stuff. It's actually about how they think, how they process information, what are they basing their decisions on, so since time immemorial, the strongest nations that you have are nations that operate off of the premise of that an educated workforce is the best workforce. And someone is mentioning about the right to work state. Yeah, well, the term right to work is very deceptive. And everything that's happened in Alabama has happened in spite of and not because of. And when you look at the lawsuit that was just filed by Jobs Across America against Hyundai and Kia, and you see all of the things that are alleged in that lawsuit, your question will be answered.
Let me circle back to sound like a Democrat here when I say this, but let me circle back to initially in this conversation. You were rolling you disapprove of the current administration. I'm a black man, so like you.
Now, let me tell you what I disapprove of, Kevin.
Okay.
I disapprove of people laying down and not posing a self-interest that protects them. See, because those people are doing exactly what they know to do. I don't hate Donald Trump. I'm not mad at him. No. He's doing exactly what he wants to do. But doggone it, we got some stuff we want to do too. And I think he would appreciate that because at least he understands self-interest. But the overall country has fallen asleep. And we're saying this. We're turning over our authority. We're turning over the God-given self-willed authority that we have to think for ourselves and to operate in our best interest over to somebody because the pressure is too high. The pressure is too high to think now. The pressure is too high to make decisions now. And there's also a film where there's a series of videos on the internet called The Great COVID Reset. Yuval Harari and Schwab and all those guys, the World Economic Forum, they basically said that Americans are too stupid to make positive decisions. Therefore, a lot of things that they did have liberty are going to have to be taken away from them because they don't know how to do it anymore.
Do you believe?
And I agree with that statement.
Do you believe that Americans have too much influence?
Too much. We got too many bombs. That's our influence.
Right.
I mean, we will drop a bomb on you if you don't do what we say, like that poor country over there, Venezuela, whatever. If you don't do what we say, we are going to destroy you.
So you think bringing the drugs to America is not destroying us?
Well, this is what it actually is. But our appetite for drugs is destroying us. Now watch this. Yeah, it's the appetite. See, if we could have billions of dollars devoted to drug rehab, see, now we're going to see what happens, because the price of dope on the street, I want to know whether it's going up or down. See, the only way to know, that's just basic supply and demand. I don't have any way of knowing personally what the price of dope is and whether the price of dope is going up or down based on these airstrikes. If the price is going sky high, that means the airstrikes are working. But if the price is unaffected, that means that whatever it is they're bombing is not impacting the street. And no, I don't agree with bombing people without due process.
Well, due process is for Americans, isn't it? I mean, due process is don't get in the boat and bring stuff over here.
Well, due process is grabbing them, process them, putting them in jail, and doing what the law say.
Our Constitution only. I'm trying to get.
Did you know the Vietnam War was fought over dope?
Well, I heard a lot about it, but I wasn't there. I don't know. But
even the opium wars. I mean, it's amazing. Like I say, history is amazing and so forth. But you got these aircraft carriers out there, and you bombing these boats. How do you think people get from one island to another, and how do you know what boat are you bombing?
Well, I'm with you. But let me ask something. The whole dope thing and the whole due process thing, isn't our Constitution for American citizens only?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Kevin. You don't know who's on that boat.
We don't care. They doing dope. We don't care.
Let me tell you what President Obama used a drone to kill an American citizen.
Yes, he did.
Without due process.
And that was wrong because he's an American citizen.
Okay, well there you go. You don't know who's on that boat.
Well, that's true. What
if the goon squad comes and arrests you because you speak in Spanish and detain you because is it illegal to speak Spanish?
No.
All right. Is it illegal to be from Hispanic or Latino descent?
Of course not.
All right. Do you have to speak English to be an American citizen?
Supposed to.
No. Answer the question, Kevin. No. The answer is no. So here's the thing.
Well, that's on
all of that will earn you a detention. It will earn your house being invaded. It will earn till they figure out and sort out who you are. Do you have to identify yourself as a U.S. citizen if you're not suspected of having committed a felony?
And the answer would be,
can a cop just walk up to you and say, "Give me your ID"? The answer is no. So the question. So here's the thing. That's not new to black people because they were doing that. They've been doing that ever since slavery, Fugitive Slave Act, all of that stuff. That's what you got now. So this is nothing new to us.
Do the times we live in now where people can walk down the street with a gun and kill people, does the times we live in now require a different method?
Okay, now show me. Okay, all right, Kevin. All right, now, Second Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a Second Amendment question. Go back to your Republican folk and ask them that question.
Well,
because they don't have a problem walking down the street with AK-47s, AR-14s, and this, that, and the other. The brothers sure don't have a problem doing it. They do it. They Second Amendment folks to the highest degree, right? But you empower and embracing people by laxing all of these laws when
But
the laws were
that's
in
part
the
of your profession, though. The whole the whole legal apparatus. That's a part of it that you're part of.
Yeah, Kevin, but just ask some of the state legislators why they voted for that.
Listen. I have asked them, and none of them
What'd
really
they
have
say?
a good none of them have a really good answer. Second Amendment, Second Amendment, Second. That our founding father, I guarantee, didn't mean for everybody to walk down the street with an AK-47
There you go.
with the
There you
ability
go.
to shoot people dead at a moment's notice. There's no way you can tell me that's what happened. But that's where we are. That's where we are.
Well, but there's a court case, Kevin. If you could look it up, it's called Cruikshank versus United States. Cruikshank. Okay.
Mhm.
And I want and we could do a whole show on that because you'll see why in that court case why the Second Amendment is such a big deal to some people. Okay. And you're going to be shocked and horrified at what happened in Colfax, Louisiana, when that came down the pipe.
Well, I mean, a lot of things happen someplace else in America that shouldn't have happened, and we realize that. I mean, going from the place in Oklahoma, what's that, Tulsa, where that was, the Black
Oh yeah,
Wall Street,
yeah, Tulsa, Oklahoma race riot.
and a lot of other places. It happened in Louisiana. It happened. I mean, and those things did happen. I would think that we are not the same country now that we were then. At least
Well, that's what we got started. I mean,
Yeah.
But even then, man, even then, you know, it was gross violations of the constitutional rights of American citizens. And so even if you're not American citizen, you still have due process and equal protection because you don't know who the person is. That's part of the process. But if you start chasing people just because they're Mexican, when they were lured over here because of the businesses opportunities that came about, you have to come up with some kind of way to deal with that. What did it say? Did Obama give due process to those 538 people he killed? No, he didn't. I don't guess he did either. But that's my point. I mean, see, because let's get this, let's get it straight. All of these people, they are part of the same thing. And if you think that one president is going to divert from the previous one, you're politically naive.
And I told somebody that the other day. All these guys pretty much do the same thing. So Trump ain't the only one been in there and did something. Matter of fact, Trump has been kind of, I think, sort of laid back on some of this stuff.
Well, and see, Kevin, the thing, and this is why I really appreciate the days and times that we live in now, is because there have been people, some of them look like us, that have gotten away with far more without having to say all the stuff he says and do all the stuff he does. I mean, there have been people, if you want to go back, man, we can have a show on it. Our American foreign policy has done so in the past. See, Trump is just letting you know what he thinks.
Right.
And he's just telling
and
you.
I have an appreciation for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because there have been people who have played saxophones in our ears with sunglasses on. There have been people that have buck danced, that have done kiss black babies, that have done all kind of stuff and turned around and stuck it to us unlike any other. And it was done by great applause. See, you give us some national holidays, put some Negroes in some positions in government, give them some status, or no power now. Give them some, and then, hey, look at this here, look at what we're doing. And then on foreign shores are committing absolute atrocities. So no, I'm looking out for the people. I'm not looking out for administrations or regimes or not even political parties, because right now both of them are compromised. But the working class people have to rise up, and we have to set a standard for ourselves, because nobody's coming to our rescue, Kevin. We're going to have to come to our own rescue.
Well, as a Democrat, I appreciate you saying that, because everybody keep waiting on the white horse to come, and it's not coming. The white horse is the guy that looks back in the mirror.
Well, Kevin,
and the good Lord,
the upper level Democrats and the upper level Republicans, they own stocks in the same company. They're neighbors. They go to the same churches. You see what I'm saying? They're members of the same fraternities and sororities and lodges and all of that, same Sunday school class, and they get together and discuss how things are going to be. But what we have to do as working class people is we have to come together and we have to put our best foot forward and know what our self-interest is and vote based on our self-interest. You don't have to run for political office to get what you want, but you do have to be politically organized.
That you do. The one thing though that and maybe I was just born in a different place where the perspective on culture and society was a little different. I'm not saying better, but just a little different. But you see the Trump administration as some sort of tyranny. I see it as somebody who's trying to take us back to the basic structure of this country,
which was corrupt from the get-go. What I'm saying is, let's get it straight. I don't see them as being anything other than the best visible example of what we've been fighting ever since 1776. That's it. With no diversion, no different. They are the logical conclusion up until now as to where we are. And we don't have any courses on American foreign policy. We don't have any discussions on American foreign policy. So we really can't talk intelligently about what we're doing overseas. And because we don't know that, we don't know what we're doing over here. Because here's the thing. If you knew what we were doing in overseas, you would simultaneously understand what's going on over here because it's the same program.
Is it as bad as you say? Are you being somewhat hyperbolous?
No. I just read, Kevin, and I just have friends all over the world.
But reading. I
mean, let's take
who's writing.
Let's take, for example, now you didn't have nothing to do with this, right? I'm a big fan of veterans. My dad was in the Army. I had two great uncles that were World War II heroes. I got people in my church that are Vietnam vets. My pastor's a Vietnam vet, so I love the veterans. But have you studied what happened when we attacked Grenada?
Well, I was on an airplane headed over there.
So you were part of it?
Well, I didn't. To be honest, I was
okay. Now this is what I want you to do.
But I didn't get there to fight, so I wasn't in the fight. So
okay. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about when one English-speaking country attacks another English-speaking country.
Well, that's what the British did to the American colonies.
All right. Okay. So what does that mean?
That means we can't even get people who say they believe in God to go to the same church. So, I mean, listen.
No, Kevin. I mean, but see, that's a point. You participated in something that was very unusual because normally English-speaking countries attack countries that don't speak their same language. But we attacked Grenada.
Well, now we didn't just do it off the cuff. Evidently, the doctor, somebody, they had asked for the help.
No,
that's what we got.
No, Maurice Bishop, who was the president of an English-speaking country, did not ask for help from America in any other area than tourism. Well, that was used as an example of American military force. Now, how many people got killed in the process? You see what I'm saying? It's these types of questions that we have, and this is the type of stuff we talk about. Now, who in the world would not want us to talk about that unless they're trying to hide something?
I mean, we lost 19 guys over there.
19. How many did the Grenadians use who were English-speaking people?
I don't know, but
how close is Grenada to America? Is it possible for us to do to a state what we did to Grenada? Is that possible?
Sure.
All right. So what you'll do is, what will you do? Take National Guard from one state and put them in another state.
I know where you're going, but listen.
And when does that happen?
It's
happening right now.
Okay, so let me ask you something. If you live in a place where your citizens are dying by gunshots of rogues running the streets,
you activate the National Guard in that state, not in another one.
And if
Kevin, you activate. If Alabama got problems,
right?
Okay, you can take your National Guard and you can put it on your own state.
Well, DC is not a city. I mean, DC is under the authority of the White House, of the Congress, and not they don't have a state to call anybody. And right now, even the black folks
Oh,
walking in
so
D.
okay then.
the
So
black folks in DC saying they can walk the streets now
so when
without fear.
so when y'all had that race riot up there and decided to attack Congress, and see when you attack Congress, let me tell you what you are when you attack Congress, okay?
Mhm.
Because the Congress creates the office of the presidency and the judiciary.
That's true.
Now, you can attack the White House like some people tried to do. There's a book called Gangsters of Capitalism.
Well, constitutionally, wait a minute.
there's another
Constitutionally, we have a right to redress our grievances with our
Yeah,
with our leaders.
but Kevin, and a bunch of black folk try to redress grievances. What happens to us?
I
There you
understand.
go. There you go. So there's another book called War is a Racket by Smedley Butler. They
Okay.
tried to get him to, have you read
Smedley
that? They
Butler.
tried to get him to
Yeah.
take
Was he
out
a
the
Marine?
president. Now,
Yeah,
he's a Marine. Now
Yeah.
he was doing, but my whole point is this: he was doing. They wanted him to do in America what he was doing in foreign countries. See, that's what I'm saying about knowing what we do in foreign countries. You'll know what we're doing over here. It's a telegraph. We just don't know what they're doing, right? Well, that's attacking the presidency. Okay, John Hinckley got out of prison. Did he not? Didn't he?
That he did. Yeah.
Okay, so you can shoot and darn near kill a president and get out of prison.
Well,
Right?
I mean,
You know why? You know why? Because you kill a president, everything keep going. Nothing changes. Everything keep on rolling because our nation was never, ever set up to run off one person. That's why I'm telling you.
And we're glad about that.
That's why I'm telling you, Kevin. All of these people calling themselves Republican, calling themselves red, calling themselves MAGA, a bunch of Nazis. Because that's how socialist countries are set up, not capitalist ones. Listen, Kevin, we on a roll now, baby.
I know, but we on part one because I gotta go.
Class, let's go to class.
Well,
I have been on. What's the other shows on the other? I don't even want to mention the other conservative stations or whatever. Those people have not disagreed with one thing I said.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of young. They ain't been no place.
No. Scott Beeson, them.
Scott Beeson ain't been nowhere
I
either.
remember when he was in the legislature. I was a lobbyist when he was in the legislature.
And let's go back and see the laws he helped pass.
Who, Scott Beeson?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, back transfer.
I like him.
Back to back transfers. Hey, that's a big law, man. That's
anyway. Listen,
that was
Dr. White. We got to do.
But my point is, Kevin. Let me get back to this because this is important, right? Okay. You almost kill Reagan, but you get out of prison.
Yeah.
All right. Now, why is that? Because our country was never ever set up to evolve around the thoughts of one man.
Because we are not a kingdom. We are
now the lynch mob a couple of years ago, they attacked Congress. Now that's a totally different thing.
Not really.
Because yes, it is. Because when you neutralize Congress, you neutralize the government.
Well, we put them in there.
Attacking a president. But when you attack Congress, you attack the very core of what it means to be a republic. And that's why those folks are Nazis.
But none of them are gods. And Kevin, they work at the behest of people.
And that's why we have houses. You're exactly right, Kevin.
Yeah, but the houses stop paying.
That's why you have houses. But
the houses stop paying attention to us, Dr. White.
No, Kevin. No, they didn't. There's no such thing.
Listen, I gotta go. We do.
Man, I love you, man. Thank you. God bless you.
We got to do number 2 because you out there a little bit.
Yeah, man. We gonna transform these Nazis, man. We gonna get them back in the right. We gonna get them back in church. We gonna get them the gospel. We gonna get them the truth. Because this stuff they kicking now don't make no sense.
All right, brother.
All right.
Appreciate you. All right. To interesting conversation with Dr. White all of the time. Let me take this little break right quick, and I shall return uno momento right after this.
Mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight. In every shadow, you are my light. Thank you, Lord.
Oh, boy. Okay, I'm back. Man, I'm taking these new pills for diabetes. They got a brother moving, but I'm gonna work that out as we go along. Anyway, what's been an interesting day? Don't forget, don't tell your problems to everybody, because 80% of the people you tell, well, they don't really care. And the other 20%, well, they're kind of glad you got them. And remember this, that it isn't falling down that gives you the strength. It is getting up each and every time you do. So, have a great day. And I got to go cogitate and all the things that Dr. White just said. So many things he said. But some of it sounded pretty good, actually, though. Some of it sounded pretty good. But we have a bone of contention with a couple of things he says. But he is a professor and I'm not. But I have a doctorate in common sense. Common sense doctor. So call me Dr. E, because honorary doctorate of common sense. And they don't give those out too often anymore, because but there aren't too many people in America that using common sense anymore. Okay. Stop sounding stupid. Well, that is a questionable term. Stupid means that the mentality of a 3-year-old. So I don't think I'm acting stupid. I may be unknowledgeable in some things, but opinions are still opinions. Opinions are not necessarily facts. So have a great day. Bye. See you later. The good Lord said the same. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye now. I'll have to replay this one later on. Good night. Good day. Whatever time it is.